This is TWiT.
Joseph Volpe joined us earlier on the show, and we had this discussion around the attending South by Southwest. And every year there's this controversy around, should we attend? Is it important? Can we cover it remotely? Do we need to be there? And I thought it was really important that he actually said that you should attend South by Southwest, even though there's a lot you can do remotely. What would be your advice to people who are contemplating or maybe even trying to justify attending South by Southwest to their employer as an expense? Because it is costly and time consuming. How would you help them justify that?
Well, yes, you can gain a lot out of the event simply by participating virtually, watching live streams, watching the Twitter sphere, watching or reading accounts and reports. I mean, there's certainly a lot to be gained that way. But I think attending the event is significantly more valuable simply because you can have face-to-face interactions with people at the event. And any successful conference event gathering is all about face-to-face interactions. As much technology as we have, face-to-face interactions and meetings and connections are still the root of everything we do. And you simply can't do that quite as effectively in the virtual world. So coming to the event can give you, I think, a lot more value in the sense of who you meet, what you actually experience live and in person, and that gives you a little bit of an edge on people who only experience it virtually.
We talked about Snowden before, but I have to ask, did you guys get any grief from anyone in the political space that personally asked you not to air it, or has given you grief since it's aired?
Sure. There was the congressman from Kansas who sent a letter to us asking us to rescind the invitation, and there's certainly lots of blog posts, emails, tweets out there about how could you give a platform to this criminal. That's not the right thing to be doing, and that's great. I mean, not everyone has to agree with what we do. I think what was particularly good about the Snowden talk is it wasn't about whether he should be pardoned by Obama or whether he should have asylum or anything like that. It was a call to arms or call to action to the tech world to build better encryption and use encryption. And it's a fairly simple message, but hearing it from someone who is hidden in Moscow because of his actions makes it a lot more powerful, and I think it was very meaningful to this audience.
Someone putting on an event of this magnitude, it's huge, tons of attendees, tons of events, tons of sessions, and just trying to coordinate everything like that. How do you learn from year over year what you've done the year before, and how do you expect this is going to change for 2015?
Well, we spend a long time in the planning. I mean, it's a year-round event or a year-round cycle to plan for 5 days. We think we do a lot of things right, but every year after the event, we get a lot of feedback that shows that there's still a lot of room for improvement, and kind of try to incorporate that into what we do for the next year. I always say, and I believe this firmly, that South by Southwest is a community event, and the real juice of the event, the real power of the event comes from the community. So again, that community input on what we did right and what we did wrong is very valuable towards planning, and will be something that really is incorporated into what we do from March 2015.
Thank you for joining us. Okay, finally, the biggest takeaway that you think that kind of surprised you this year with the event, or that you think was the most powerful takeaway for South by Southwest Interactive?
It's the most powerful takeaway. Well, it survived even though rain. And apparently it never rains in Austin aside from South by Southwest, so that's a good takeaway. I think, again, as much of an outcry is there, as much as there is this refrain from the community that the event has gotten too big, there's a much larger chorus in the community that's still getting a lot of value out of the event, still making connections, still finding new business opportunities, still finding lots and lots of great things to do at the event. So I'm psyched that I think the future is still very bright for what we're doing here.